Drills are an excellent way to get reps on moves you want to improve, transitions you want to improve, and even concepts that you want to improve. Now, assuming this isn't your first day in a jiu-jitsu gym, you're a white belt with some experience, you know how to do arm bars, triangles, certain sweeps, this is going to be really, really good for you. I can do a video later on how to do these individual moves, but you will need some working knowledge. Now, if you are brand new to jiu-jitsu, this video can still be helpful because it'll give you things to practice as you learn them at your school. So fear not, I've got you covered either way. This first drill I call the A.T.A.S drill, armbar, triangle, armbar sweep. As you can see here, my partner's in my guard. I begin to set up the armbar. Once I complete the armbar, I allow my partner to pull his arm out because this is a drill. Once his arm is completely removed, I begin to set up the triangle by throwing my outside leg over his shoulder. As I begin to maneuver through the submission and I get to the finish, there's two ways to do this. Number one, you hit the triangle completely, you make your partner tap. Now, the drawback to this is that it slows the process down, right? The second option is you lock it in just long enough to complete the triangle, but then you let go immediately, keeping the process moving quickly. Now, the cons for this is creating a training scar where you are letting go of submissions too early because this is how you've been practicing. So if you're a white belt, I would suggest locking the triangle up completely and fully until your partner taps. As you progress through the belt system, maybe once you get the purple belt, you can focus more on speed and reps. But in the beginning of our jiu-jitsu journey, we definitely don't want to teach ourselves to let go of submissions early. Once the triangle is completed and your partner taps, he will then begin to stand up. As he's standing up, I take my right hand and grab onto my partner's arm that's across my chest. As he begins to gain height from standing up, I also hunt his other leg with my left arm, looking to hook that leg so I can turn my hips towards the side of his face, putting me in a great position to hit an armbar. From this position, we are then dropping our feet down to our partner's hips, simultaneously grabbing his left sleeve with our right hand and his right sleeve with our left hand. Once we have this open guard position obtained, we're going to move into our sweep. As you can see here, my left hand grabs his right ankle, my right foot drops behind his left knee while still maintaining a grip with my right hand. From here, I will push into his hips, causing him to fall backwards, and I use the momentum of his body to pull me up. You have to maintain your grip on his sleeve for this to work correctly. Once you're in the standing position, you can go ahead and reset, except your partner is on his back and you are in his guard. He will then run this entire process. You can go back and forth as long as you like. The important thing is get good, clean reps. Do not create any bad habits. No training scars, do everything perfectly. And if you have to do this slowly, do it slowly. I can't tell you how many times I see white belts rush through drilling. And by doing this, you are creating bad habits, and it's going to make your learning process a little bit more difficult, possibly a lot more difficult. One of my favorite phrases, which some of you probably already know, is that slow is smooth and smooth is fast. So remember that as you drill, right? This will help you get better. And I just want to take a quick break to give my sponsors, X Martial, a shout out. Not only does X Martial have the highest quality no-gi gear for adults and kids on the market, they also provide workout equipment and training tools, everything from resistance bands to grip work to abdominal work. You name it, they got it. On top of all that, they also have the X Martial Charity Initiative, where they help bullied or underprivileged people get help with their training fees and free gear. You're not gonna find a higher quality company out there. So if you wanna look as good as me and probably even better, get over to xmartial.com, use my code IRONWILL to save yourself some money, and look good while you sharpen your skills. All right, well, I think that covers it. Let's get back to the video. Drill number 2 is a sweep drill, and there are 2 variations to this one. In both variations, I will sweep my partner to the ground. As he falls, I will use his body weight to pull me up. From there, he will then sweep me, allowing my body weight to pull him up, and we can go back and forth. Sweep variation number 1 revisits the sweep we used at the end of the A.T.A.S drill. Variation number 2 is one of my favorite sweeps. This tends to feel a little more demeaning to me because you tend to send your partner flying a little bit more. They get a little bit more air on this one. Basically, all we're doing is we're starting in the same exact position, feet on the hips, open guard, with my grips on his sleeves. What I do next is I rotate my hip so that I'm now sitting on top of my left hip. From here, I rotate my right leg so that my toes are pointing to the left and my heel is pointing to the right. From here, my left hand goes from gripping his sleeve down to holding his right heel or ankle area. And almost simultaneously, I'm dropping my left leg so that my leg pit catches him on the back of his opposite heel. From here, I'm chopping in with my bottom leg, kicking forward with my top leg, maintaining strong resistance on his heel, and then using his sleeve that I'm gripping to allow his body weight to pull me up to my feet. This is a concept in jiu-jitsu that you will see quite frequently, and the more aware you become of it, the more you'll see it. And basically, we're just using either your partner's weight or your weight to help you do the work without expending any energy. This happens all over the place in jiu-jitsu, and once you kind of get the hang of this and see where you can use this, it's a really, really big help. So anytime you're doing these sweeps, let your partner's body weight falling to the ground do the work of getting you up to your feet. You shouldn't be expending any energy to do this. And in both sweep variations, you're sweeping your partner to the ground, you're then standing over him, he then sweeps you to the ground and he's standing over you. You can do this back and forth for as long as you need or want. Last but certainly not least, the back take to armbar drill. I really like this one because sometimes we can go against an opponent or a sparring partner who's really hard to choke, even when you're on their back, right? They've got great hand defense, they drop their chin, and it's really hard to get through there. They're just a difficult person to choke. Well, instead of gassing out trying to choke this person unsuccessfully time and time again, what you can do is transition to an armbar. As you can see in this example, I'm on my partner's back and I initiate this move by underhooking my partner's right arm. Once that underhook is in place, I'm almost simultaneously picking both my feet up from his center line and moving them past his left leg, so they're almost sitting on his left hip. From here, I can lean back, push his face away with my left arm, and then swing my left leg up over his head and drop into the arm bar. Remember that when you get to this position, you should be squeezing your knees together, pulling your heels towards your butt, because this will make the braking pressure, once you initiate the braking action, a lot more effective. All the while keeping his thumb pointed towards the sky, having a two-handed baseball style grip on his wrist as you go ahead and hip through his elbow. From here, once your partner taps, it's very easy for him to sit up and then for you to sit up right behind him, only to fall right back into your starting position again. And you can run this on repeat for as long as you want or need. Again, sending this idea home that slow is smooth and smooth is fast. If you're new to arm bars, if you're new to any of this, take it nice and slow. It's not a race. You don't need to speed through it. By doing that, you again will create bad habits that I cannot begin to emphasize enough will only hurt you in the long run. You can use all these drills as warm-ups, warm-downs, or even if you're injured and you can't necessarily spar, this is a great way, depending on the injury of course, a great way to still stay active, get reps in while you're allowing yourself to heal. If you've been training for a while and you have other drills, drop those in the comments. I always read all the comments and I love the information you guys share with the group. I appreciate you always. You know how we like to end them, sometimes backwards, always forwards. I'll see you in the next one.